Okay, dear students, last class I told you about the general concepts of electrolytic conductance. Here, last class I emphasized on the mobility of ions and the molar conductivity, how to measure the molar conductivity, that type of things. Okay, so you can watch my class on electrolytic conductance for the for the fundamentals. Okay, today I am going to tell you about some factors that affecting the conductance, electrolytic conductance, or you can also say that the factors that affecting the mobility of ions. I think in one of my classes I explained about the ionic atmosphere. I think that is in Debye-Huckel theory. They have a class about Debye-Huckel theory. So there I explained about the existence of ionic atmosphere. So ionic atmosphere. So that means if it is a positive ion, it is actually it will be surrounded in a spherical fashion. It will be surrounded by negatively charged ions. Okay, so in an ideal case you can see a perfect ionic atmosphere. Actually, you see the ionic atmosphere, existence of ionic atmosphere tells you about the stability of the electrolyte systems. But practically, what is happening for this type of ionic atmosphere? Is it really a spherical one or a perfect one or not? That we can check. Okay, so for that you can introduce electrodes. You can introduce two electrodes here and here. This is the plus electrode. Suppose this is the negative electrode. So this is the real situation. What will be happening here? Okay, suppose here positive is there, positive charge cation is there. It will be attracted towards the negative electrode normally. Okay, so it is traveling as such. That means it will migrate as such as an ionic atmosphere. You see the positively charged cations are attracted towards the negative electrode. And what happens to this negative charge? Okay, this negatively charged ions are attracted towards the positively charged electrode. Then what happens to this type of a system, ionic atmosphere? The ionic atmosphere will not be a perfect always in this type of a situation. So what happens to the ionic atmosphere after introducing this negative and positive electrode? You see this positive cation, the cation will be attracted towards this electrode, and the other ions in the ionic atmosphere will be attracted towards the other electrode. So what will be the shape? What will be the shape of the the ionic atmosphere? This is a positive one, it's attracted towards this one, and you see there are negative ions surrounded by this, but that will not be a perfect sphere now. Okay, that will be like this. You see, like this it will be elongated like this. So that means plus is moving towards this. So there is a screening. Screening means there is a hurdle. There is a very difficult situation. That means it will move towards this, and this part will move towards this one. Okay, so this type of a situation, the ionic atmosphere will not be perfect sphere. So this particular effect, these are one of the factors affecting electrolytic conductance. This particular effect, is known as the relaxation effect. And another name of this one is the asymmetric effect. That means it will not be symmetric. This particular type of ionic atmosphere will not be symmetric. So this is one of the factor that affecting the migration of ions. So what is the next one? So next one you can consider another case of higher concentration. In higher concentration, what happens? We can see in higher concentration what happens. There are solvent molecules. There is solvent molecule. Higher concentration. What is the problem? There is a attraction between it's a very good attraction between solute and solvent. Solute and solvent. So what happens at a higher concentration? Higher concentration, there is always a resistance of the solvents for the movement of the ions. That means the solvent resists the solvent. The solvent actually resists the movement of positive or negative ions. That means I already told you it should push the solvent to reach at the anode or cathode for discharging. Okay, that means it is just like you are swimming under the influence of a current. Okay, so you have to resist the counter current when you are swimming like this. So just like this ion is swimming, the solvent is making a very good resistance. So that difficulty is there. That means there will be it actually slows down. It actually slows down the ions. That migration. The speed will be very slow at a particular time in the case of higher concentration. And this particular effect is known as the electrophoretic effect. These are some factors affecting the electrolytic conductance. So one is the relaxation effect or asymmetric effect, and other one is the electrophoretic effect. Another important effect is there, factor is there that really affecting the migration of movement of ions is the viscous effect or viscosity of the solution. Okay, viscosity of the viscosity of the solvent. So that means there is a viscous drag for the movement. So viscosity will be affecting the movement of the ions. So the solvent is more viscous. More viscous means it's very difficult to move. That effect is called the viscous effect or the viscosity of the solvent. So there are three factors that affecting the movement of ions. One is the relaxation effect or asymmetric effect. Another one is the electrophoretic effect, and third one is viscosity of the solvent. So accounting all these things in 1926 the Debye-Huckel and Onsager. Okay, so that equation you know already. This is called the Debye-Huckel-Onsager theory. Onsager theory comes in 1926 to account all these effects. They are explaining the molar conductivity. It is connected with this asymmetric effect, electrophoretic effect, and viscosity of the solvent. So this is the first equation of molar conductivity, accounting all these effects. Then the system will become more real. So what is that equation? That Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. We will see what is this equation. Okay, so I told you this is the realistic approach to find out the experimentally the molar conductivity. That means many important factors, the realistic factors we accounted in this equation. One is the asymmetric effect, and other one is the electrophoretic effect, and finally the viscosity of the solvent. So like that the Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation comes. Okay, so I will write the Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation here. and we will just see actually this particular equation is completely applicable for mainly it is applicable for univalent electrolyte. In the case of bivalent electrolyte and the other types of electrolyte, there are some deviations from Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. That is already accounted. Some parameters, suppose if you add some parameters, you can explain that curve also. So here I am explaining only the Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation that accounted the all these factors. That means the electrophoretic effect, asymmetry effect, and finally the viscosity effect. Okay, so we will see what is the Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. Okay, so simply I will write Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. Okay, so it is like this. The molar conductivity lambda is equal to lambda 0. What is lambda 0? Lambda 0 is the molar conductivity at infinite dilution. You can be, it will be maybe Kohlrausch's law, that type of things you already studied. The variation of conductivity versus concentration, there you can find out the lambda 0 minus a plus b lambda 0 into root c. C is the concentration. You can see two factors here. One is A and another one is B. A is actually accounting the electrophoretic factor, and B is accounting for the relaxation effect. I told you when I am explaining these factors, there are two effects, and another effect is the viscous effect. That is also accounted in this equation when you look at the equation for A and B. So I will just write for your information. I will just write for the equation for A and B. A is equal to 82.4 into dt raised to half. Here what is D? D is the dielectric constant. D is the dielectric constant. And okay, it's not complete. There is a eta also. The viscosity, you can see that intrinsic viscosity factor you can see here, and this B is the accounting the relaxation effect, that is 8.20 into 10 raised to 5 and 10 raised to 5 divided by dt all raised to 3 by 2. These t all raised to 3 by 2. So now you see this is called the Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. This is just like a linear type equation. You see when you draw the conductivity versus root c, you will be getting a straight line of slope. What is the slope? Slope is a plus b lambda 0. Okay, normally there will be some deviation. I told you, suppose in the case of bivalent electrolyte, it will not look like this always. Sometimes it will be, for the example of copper sulfate, this graph will be look like this. So there are some additional parameters is needed to explain this Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation in this time. Okay, so that is known as the deviation from the Debye-Huckel-Onsager equation. Okay, now I am going to tell you about the two more factors that affecting the electrolytic conductance. These two are experimental facts. One is known as the Debye-Falkenhagen effect, and other one is the Wien effect. Debye-Falkenhagen effect and Wien effect. Okay, so very briefly I will tell you. You can read about all these things very detailed there are experimental results are there about all these things. Just briefly I will tell you what is the what I mean by Debye-Falkenhayn effect and Wien effect. Okay, so this is one is called the Debye-Falkenhayn effect. Debye-Falkenhayn effect is very simple. When you increase the experimental result is like this. Experimental result is like this. When you increase AC alternating current frequency, I told you about the conductivity measurement already. Okay, if you increase the alternating current frequency, what will happen? The molar conductivity will also increase. That is about the Debye-Falkenhayn effect. So why it is increasing? I already told you that the shuttle, last class, the shuttle of ions, when you apply AC in between a conductivity cell. So when you increase the AC frequency means what? The poles will change very fastly. That means there will not be sufficient time for the formation of ionic atmosphere. That means the other type of effects already told you, that relaxation effect, electrophoretic effect and viscous force, that is actually that will be actually negligible when you increase the AC frequency. Then the molar conductivity will increase. That is known as the Debye-Falkenhayn effect. Another effect, experimental result, is known as the Wien effect. In Wien effect, instead of changing the AC frequency, he is changing the potential gradient. He is changing the potential gradient. That means if you increase the potential gradient, the molar conductivity will again increase. Okay, so high potential gradient means what? There is no chance of formation of ionic atmosphere. That means the ions will move very fastly and the molar conductivity will increase. Okay, you see, very briefly I explained about all these factors here. So you have to read it very thoroughly, and you can apply this equation for the molar conductivity calculations. So please read the textbooks regarding the electrolytic conductance factors. Thank you.